Deepfake phone is destroying real life in South Korea. Seoul, South Korea CNN. Luma was having lunch on a summer day in 2021 when her phone began blowing up with notifications. When she opened the message, they are devastating. Photos of her face had been taken from social media and edited onto naked bodies shared with dozens of users in the chat room on the messaging app Telegram. The commenting screenshots of the chat room were demeaning and vulgar, as were the texted from the anonymous messenger who had sent her the images. Is it funny? Watching your own sex video, they wrote, to tell me you honestly enjoyed this. The harassment escalated into threat to share the images more widely and taunt that police wouldn't be able to find the perpetrators. The sender seems to know her personal details, but she had no way to identify them. I was bombarded with all these images that I had never imaged in my life, said Ruma, who CNN is identifying with a pseudonym for her privacy and safety. In the summer of 2021, photos of the Ruma's face was taken from social media and edited onto naked bodies. The animated video includes some of the messages she received from the perpetrators. While revenge phone, the non-consensual sharing of sexual images has been around for nearly as long as the internet. The preparation of AI tools means that anyone can be targeted by explicit deepfakes, even if they are never taken or sent a nude photo. South Korea has had a particularly fraught recent history of digital sex crimes, from hidden cameras in public facilities to Telegram chat room, where women and girls were coerced and blackmailed into posting demeaning sexual content. But deepfake technology is now posing a new threat, and the crisis is particularly acute in schools. Between January and early November last year, more than 900 students, teachers, and staff in schools reported that they fell victim to deepfake sex crimes, according to data from the country's education ministry. Those figures do not include universities, which have also seen a spate of deepfake phone attacks. In response, the ministry established the emergency task force, and in September, legislators passes the amendment that made possessing and viewing deepfake phone punishable by up to 3 years in prison or a fine of up to 30 million won, over $20,000. Creating and distributing non-consensual deepfake explicit images now has a maximum prison sentence of 7 years, up from 5. South Korea's National Police Agency has argued its officials to take the lead in completely eradicating deepfake sex crimes. But of 964 deepfake-related sex crime cases reported from January to October last year, police made 23 arrests, according to Seoul National Police statement. Registrator Kim Nam-hee told CNN that investigations and punishment have been too passive so far, so some victims, like Ruma, were conducting their own investigations. Victims taking action. Ruma was the 27-year-old university student when her nightmare first began. When she went to the police, they told her they would recast the user information from Telegram, but warned the platform was notorious for not sharing such data, she said. Once an outgoing student who enjoyed the school and the active social life, Ruma said the incident had completely changed her life. It broke my whole belief system about the world, she said. The fact that they could use such burger love images to humiliate and violate you to that extreme extent really damages you almost irrevocably. She decided to act after learning that investigations into the report by other students had ended after a few months, with police citing difficulty in identifying suspect. One Eun-ji, an activist and journalist known for exposing South Korea's then largest Telegram chat room case in 2020, says society society still lacks understanding of how serious this crime is. Ruma and fellow students sought help from one Eun-ji, an activist who gained national fame for exposing South Korea's largest digital sex crime group on Telegram in 2020. One Eun-ji agreed to help her, creating a fake Telegram account and posing as a man in his 30s to infiltrate that the chat room where the deepfake images had circulated. She spent nearly 2 years carefully gathering information and engaging other users in conversation before coordinating with the police to help carry out a sting operation. When police confronted the suspect, Won-ji sent him a telegram message. His phone pinged. He had been caught. Two former students from the prestigious Seoul National University were arrested in last May. The main perpetrator was ultimately sentenced to 9 years in prison for producing and distributing sexually exploitative materials, while the accomplice was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Police told CNN further investigations identified at least 61 victims, including 12 current and former Seoul National University students. Seoul National University, in a briefing after the incident, said the school will strengthen preventative education to raise awareness among the members of the university about digital sex crimes and do its best to protect victims and prevent recurrence. Except excerpt of the ruling shared by Luna's lawyers state the fake explicit materials produced by the perpetrator were repugnant, and the conversations surrounding them are shocking. They targeted the victims as if they were hunting prey, sexually insulted the victims, and destroyed their dignity by using photos from graduations, weddings, and family gatherings. In response to the verdict, Ruma told CNN, I didn't expect the ruling to align exactly with the prosecution's request. I'm happy, but this is only the first trial. I don't feel entirely relieved yet. Ruma's case is just one of thousands across South Korea, and some victims had less help from police. A high school teacher, Kim, who CNN is identified by her last name only for privacy and safety, says her experience changes her life forever. Public, open, unsympathetic. One high school teacher, Kim, told CNN she first learned that she was being targeted for exploitation in July 2023 when a student urgently showed her Twitter screenshots of the inappropriate photos taken of her in a classroom, focusing on her body. My hands started to shaking, she recalled. When could this photo have been taken and who would upload such a thing. CNN is identifying Kim by her last name only for her privacy and safety. But she said the situation worsened 2 days later. Her hair was made messy and her body was altered to make it look like she was looking back. The manipulated picture of her face was added onto nude photos. The sophisticated technology made the images unnervingly realistic. Police told her that their only option to identify the poster was to request user information from Twitter, the social media platform bought by Elon Musk in 2022 and rebranded as X in 2023, with the emphasis on free speech and privacy. Kim and a colleague, also a victim of the secret filming, fearing that using official channels to identify the user would take too long and launches their own investigation. They identified the person a quite introverted students. Someone you'd never imagine doing such a thing, Kim said. The person was charged, but regardless of what happens in court, she said life will never be the same. She said the lack of public empathy has frustrated her too. I read a lot of articles and comments about deepfakes saying, why isn't it? Why is it a serious crime when it's not even your real body? Kim said. According to Axis current policy, obtaining user information involves the obtaining a subpoena, court order, or other valid legal document and submitting a request on law enforcement letterhead via its website. X says its company policy to inform users that a request has been made. Its rules on authenticity state that users may not share inauthentic content on X that may deceive people or lead to harm. Pressure on social platforms to act. One Eun-ji, the activist, said that for a long time, sharing and viewing sexual content of women was not considered a serious offense in South Korea. Though pornography is banned, the authorities have long failed to enforce the law or punish offenders, Won Eun-ji said. Societal apathy makes it easier for perpetrators to commit digital sex crimes, Won Eun-ji said, including what she called acquittance humiliation. Acquittance humiliation often begins with the perpetrators sharing photos and personal information of a woman they know on Telegram, offering to create deepfake content or asking others to do so. Victims live in a fear as attackers often know their personal information, where they live, work, and even details about their families, posing real threat to their safety and allowing anonymous users to harass women directly. Since South Korea's largest digital sex exploitation case on Telegram in 2020, Won Eun-ji said the sexual exploitation ecosystem had fluctuated, shrinking during large-scale police investigations, but expanding again once authorities ease off. The victims CNN interviewed all pushes for heavier punishment for perpetrators. While prevention is important, there's a need to judge these cases properly when they occur, Kim said. Online platforms are also under pressure to act. Telegram, which has become a fertile space for various digital crimes, announced it would increase sharing user data with authorities as part of the broader crackdown on illegal activities. The move came after the company's CEO, Pavel Durov, was arrested in August in France on a warrant relating to Telegram's lack of moderation, marking a turning point for a platform long recognized for its commitment to privacy and encrypted messaging. Drop is under formal investigation but has been allowed to leave France, she said in a post on Telegram. Last September, South Korea's media regulator said Telegram had agreed to establish a hotline to help wipe illegal content for the app, and that the company had removed 148 digital sex crime videos as requested by the regulator. This is something that has been delayed for far too long. Won Eun-ji, activist and journalist. Won Eun-ji welcomed this move, but with some skepticism, saying government should remove the app from app stores to prevent new users from signing up if Telegram doesn't show substantial progress soon. This is something that has been delayed for far too long, she said. In a statement to CNN, Telegram said the company has the zero tolerance policy for illegal pornography and uses the combination of human moderation, AI, and machine learning tools and reports from users and trusted organizations to combat illegal pornography and other abuse of the platform. A meaningful breakthrough occurred this January, marking the first time Korean authorities successfully obtained crime-related data from Telegram, according to Seoul police. 14 people were arrested, including 6 minors, for allegedly sexually exploiting over 200 victims through targeted men and women of various ages since 2020, and more than 70 others were under investigation for allegedly creating and sharing deepfake exploitation materials, Seoul police said. Meanwhile, the victims told CNN they hope other women in other positions can receive more support from the police and the court going forward. No matter how much punishment are strengthened, there were still far more victims who suffered because their perpetrator had not been caught, and that's why it feels like a verdict is still far from being a true realization of change or justice, Ruma said. There's a long way to go.